well, that's the play, and he wouldn't want us to give it away. Not Sweeney. Not Sweeney Todd. The demon robber of Fleet Street.
I'm playing Mrs. Lovett, and my name's Antoinette Halloran.
I'm playing Sweeney Todd, and I'm Teddy Tahu Rhodes. Sweeney Todd, originally called Benjamin Barker, was a barber from London, and he was shipped off to Botany Bay in Australia as a convict on charges which were supposedly trumped up, and his wife and child were taken away from him. He's suffered a great deal of pain and had no contact. You know, one day he's with his family, the next day they were whisked away, or he was whisked away, and 15 years he's had time to brood on it. So he comes back, and he's a pretty, he's got a lot of revenge stored up in him.
But there's no place like London.
And he turns from being a tragic character, I think a very sad, tragic character, to someone who, I guess, loses a sense of reality and what he needs to do to avenge the wrong.
Mrs. Lovett has lived underneath Sweeney and his wife and child. She was a landlady. They didn't really ever pay much attention to her, but she got sort of a bizarre fixation on Sweeney. And she basically wants a white picket fence and a happy marriage, but to get that from this man, she needs to aid him and inspire him to commit these crimes. I think she's had a terribly hard life. She's been alone in Victorian London trying to eke out a living. It hasn't been easy, so she's had to cut a lot of corners, and in doing that she's had to lose a lot of morality.
Rest now, my friend.
Never you see.
Soon I'll unfold you.
You can move in here.
Soon you'll
Mr.
know
Todd.
splendors you never had dreamed all your days. My lucky friend, clear now your shine was merely silver.
A set can change the whole vibe of the way you feel, depending on what era it's put in, this is the Victorian era. Once you get dressed up into your frocks and your costumes, and you're stuck on this set which has been made to look like it could have stood in Fleet Street. It's amazing how you suddenly feel removed from what's over the other side of the pit or the edge of the stage. So that's the whole thing of theatre, to take you away from what might be where you are in your normal realm of life, and actually watch just a moment in time, really, that we get to see, and get transported into a different world. So for me, it's great actually when you get on stage to move away from the rehearsal room and actually feel like you're immersed, and that becomes your world for a while.
There was a pa and his wife, and she was beautiful. His falter and his wife, she was his reason and his life, and she was beautiful, and she was virtuous, and he was naive.
Sometimes you can get a design that you don't quite feel an affinity with, whereas with this one, immediately in my kitchen I just looked around and I love my cake tins and I love my rolling pin, and you start to feel a real ownership of that stuff. And so yesterday we were rehearsing, and the props guy had cleaned the kitchen up, and I was really cross because I was like, where's my rolling pin? And there's, I was starting to get real ownership of my knife. And
Really has her pie shop. Does it, Mrs. But I noticed something weird. Lately all the neighbours' cats have disappeared. I have to add it to her. What I calls enterprise. Popping pussies into pies. Doing my shop. Just the thought of it's enough to make you sick. And I'm telling you that pussycats is quick. No denying times is answer. Even harder than the worst pies in London. Holy Lord, and nothing more is than just revolting, or greasy and gritty. It looks like it's melting and tastes like, well, it is.
a set that I've got, my barber shop is set above the shop, is set above Mrs. Lovett's shop, and it's basically open all the way around, so you're quite high up. Unless you're up there all the time, you're quite nervous. But I don't know about you, but I'm up there now, and it just feels like it's your world. You know every little inch to where the edge of the stage is, effectively.
Well, see, that's good because I still feel a sense of danger up there. It's really become your space.
Yeah.
And everyone else that goes up there feels slight unease because you could fall and break your neck. But he's quite comfortable there, and that's really working for the drama of the situation. So every time I'm up there and he's pushing me around, I'm like, oh God. But that actually works for the piece.
Precious.